It had been a very long and tiring day. The sun was slowly going down on the western horizon. Mellow sunshine filtered through the leaves of the forest. When 5 brothers and their wife walked wearily through the forest to the point where they could no longer walk, they were so tired. They sat under a banyan tree, and Draupadi asked her youngest husband, Nakula, to fetch her some water. She was very thirsty. Nakula went off to look for some water, never returned. So Sahadev, his twin brother, went to look for Nakula. Time elapsed. Sahadev hadn't returned. So Yudhishthira asked Arjuna, the great warrior, to go and look for their youngest brothers and to still fetch some water for Panchali, who was waiting for the jug of water. Arjuna didn't return, much to everybody's surprise. Then Yudhishthira turned to the ever-dependable Bhima, and he said, Brikadara, you better go now. What has happened to our 3 brothers? Why haven't they come back? Why haven't they got the water for Panchali? What's keeping them? So Bhima goes off to look for the brothers and to get water. Bhima doesn't come back either. So leaving Draupadi under that tree, Yudhishthira goes in search of water and his lost brothers. And he comes to this huge lake, and he spies on the banks of that lake his 4 brothers lying dead. And as he enters the waters of the lake to draw some water for his wife, he's puzzled, bewildered, worried. And as he bends down to fill the jug, the pitcher, with some water, a voice from the tree says, don't draw any water from this lake is mine. Don't draw any water from this lake till you have answered my questions. Your brothers defied me. I had asked them not to draw any water, so I have killed them. So Yudhishthira says, who are you, my lord, that you issue such a command and that you have killed 4 of such brave warriors? And from the tree, a huge, colossal and bizarre-looking bird emerges and says, you answer my questions and you can draw water from my lake. There follows, this is at the end of the Vana Parva, the Mahabharata, the 3rd book of the epic. There follows a remarkable and unforgettable question-answer session between this bird and Yudhishthira. 108 questions, ranging from simple facts of life, like who sleeps with his eyes open? Yudhishthira says, fish sleep with their eyes open. From simple things like that to Kim Ashcharjam. What is Ashcharya? What is so amazing in the world? To which Yudhishthira gives that immortal answer. He says, people die every day, but yet human beings seek immortality. That is what is amazing. Goes on, 108 questions, as I said. Finally, the bird says, I'm very satisfied with your answers. You have answered all my questions correctly and adequately and with due respect. And now you tell me, not only can you draw water from the lake, but you tell me I'm so happy that I will raise one of your brothers from the dead. So you tell me, which one do you want alive? There are 4 dead bodies here. And Yudhishthira says, may I have Nakula back? The bird is surprised. And he says, you had Bhima, your favorite. You had Arjuna, who is the greatest warrior the world knows. And they are your own brothers. And yet you choose Nakula to be resurrected, your stepbrother. Yudhishthira says, I have 2 mothers, Kunti and Madri. Mother Kunti's one son is alive. I am still alive. But Mother Madri does not have a son anymore. So my second mother should have one son alive as well. So please raise Nakula from the dead, so that both my mothers have a son alive. The bird then says, that is a remarkable answer. And he transforms himself into the Lord Dharma and says, you have passed the final test. My son, I was testing you. I was testing your ethics, your ability to make judgments, your ability to be fair. I'm so satisfied that I'll raise all your brothers from the dead. That is how the Pandavas continue to live. And 2 parvas down the line, they can prepare for war to take on the Kauravas and get back their rightful inheritance. Because their eldest brother stood for certain values, made an ethical call at a very critical moment. He did not allow his emotions, his loyalty to his 2 blood brothers to take precedent over his better judgment. We fast forward to the days after the war, many years after the great battle of Kurukshetra, when the battle's been lost and won, with a generation killed, with thousands of women left widows, brotherless, husbandless, fatherless. Arjuna brings the news from Dwaraka that in a similar fratricidal war, the Yadavas have also all killed themselves like the Kauravas and the Pandavas. And Krishna too is dead, the counselor, the friend of the Pandavas. Before his death, Arjuna tells Yudhishthira he had given Arjuna the responsibility to take from Dwaraka the women folk of Dwaraka back to Indraprastha. And Arjuna had failed. Somewhere between Gujarat, present-day Gujarat, and present-day Haryana, in Rajasthan perhaps, Arjuna had been attacked by a gang of robbers, and the great warrior Arjuna had failed to defend the women, and they were all gone, taken away by the robbers. So Arjuna brings this sorry story to Yudhishthira. Yudhishthira is heartbroken. He says, with Madhava dead, I have no desire to rule. I don't know about all of you, the 4 of you and Draupadi, but I am going to leave Indraprastha and I will go for a trek in the Himalayas, leaving everything that I possess. Loyal as they are, the 4 brothers and Draupadi say, Maharaj, if you go, wherever you go, we come with you. And so, making Parikshit the king of Indraprastha, they leave, walking across the Himalayas. As they leave Indraprastha, a mongrel, a dog, follows them. They traverse the Himalayas, and one by one, Draupadi dies, Sahadev dies, Nakula dies, Arjuna dies, Bhima dies. And Yudhishthir explains to Bhima, even as Bhima is falling, he explains why the 5 of them had to die. But he continues with that dog. And then at some point in the Himalayas, the epic tells us, the chariot came from heaven with the Lord of the heavens, Indra, in the chariot. Indra stops before Yudhishthira and said, "My Lord, come on the chariot. I have come to take you to heaven. You'll be the first man in human history to see heaven alive." Yudhishthira gets onto the chariot. The dog follows him as he has followed him from Indraprastha. Indra says, No, that's not possible. He's an unclean animal, he's a dog. He can't come to heaven with you. That's not possible. Yudhishthira says, it's not possible. Then it's not possible for me to go to heaven. So Indra is surprised. Much like that bird had been surprised when he had said, "Raise Nakula." He says, for a dog, you're not willing to go to heaven? Yudhishthira says, when my closest ones have deserted me, my brothers, my wife, he hasn't deserted me. He has been with me, sharing all my trouble, all my travails, the little food that I had. He ate that with me, never complained, never left my side. I can't go to heaven without him. I'd rather not go to heaven than desert my only loyal companion. As he says that, the dog transforms itself into Lord Dharma and says, "Son, you have passed your final test. I have been testing you. I tested you as a bird. Now I have tested you as a dog. Not failed to keep the law of dharma, the dictates of dharma, the dictates of conscience. Now you can go to heaven." So Yudhishthira goes to heaven because he makes the correct ethical call. He makes the correct ethical judgment. I draw these 2 instances from perhaps the greatest book the literature of the world knows, the Mahabharata, to emphasize the importance of ethical courage in the lives of human beings. And I hope students who will go out of Ashoka University into the world will go out with at least some amount of that ethical courage. Thank you.